Hello, hello, and welcome back to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. It's me, Stacey Heinig, your holistic nutritionist, plant-based coach, and waterless beauty mentor. I hope that you are having the best day ever. I am so excited to tell you about my guest today. It is Bob Heilig. If you do not know about Bob Heilig, then you are probably not in the network marketing space. But if you are in the network marketing space, then you absolutely do know about Bob. You've got to know about Bob. Bob is the owner of the brand and podcast called Your Virtual Upline. You absolutely need to go and listen to his podcast, by the way. Before we go on any further with this episode, go and subscribe to his podcast, because if you are a businesswoman, regardless if you're in the network marketing space, you need to know about Bob and his programs and his mindset work and all of the help that he can give to you to help you master a service-based business with a wholehearted way of approaching it. You're going to learn more about that and how to transform people's lives instead of be in a transactional state or mindset as you drive your business forward and you live a life of financial success. And Bob was just the person that I wanted to talk to because I have been following him for years and years along my network marketing journey. And he has helped me so much. I just think that Bob is so awesome at what he does. He's absolutely living out his purpose-driven life, which is a beautiful thing to watch unfold. So if you are not following him yet, again, make sure you are. And speaking of following, make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. We are growing that, and I will likely have my podcast over on there only instead of podcast platforms. We're just going to be moving more and more over to YouTube. So make sure that you are subscribed at The Urban Pharmacy. I will put that down below. If you are not subscribed yet, just hit the subscribe button. And before we get into the episode, I wanted to let you know I have a comfort food recipe download. All you have to click is in the down bar and it says theurbanpharmacy.com/comfort food. This is going to get you many whole food plant-based recipes. They're going to help you feel good, but also get in that comfortable feeling and that cozy feeling that you're looking and seeking in foods. So click below, get subscribed, grab my free recipes, and enjoy this interview with none other but Bob Heilig. Enjoy. Bob Heilig, welcome to the Urban Pharmacy Podcast. I am thrilled to have you here.
Thanks, Stacey. I'm excited to be here, hang out today.
So, all right, I've been listening to you since the beginning. You have this amazing podcast. Well, maybe it's the beginning. I don't know. You tell me. But Your Virtual Upline podcast. I've been in network marketing for a long time, 9 years, and found you, I believe, at the beginning stages of that. And you have changed my entire approach to how I do business. You've also helped me shift my mindset, drop limiting beliefs, and show up from a place of service, not only in my network marketing business, but also in all of the types of businesses that I do as a serial entrepreneur. And I just want to first off, thank you and hold space for that, because you have impacted so many people's lives, regardless if you realize that or not. I just want to make sure that you know that.
Well, that means a lot to hear. I think you probably get this sometimes in this virtual world that we live in. We kind of get caught in the grind of creating episodes and doing trainings. And so it's always really good to connect with somebody that the work has actually made a difference in their life. So that's awesome.
Well, so you are very much appreciated. And you have been, okay, well, first off, how long have you been doing your podcast? Because everybody needs to know about that.
Yeah, the podcast started in 2016.
Okay.
So yeah, you were right around the beginning. This whole journey that I am on today started in 2015. Just kind of, I was I was in a network marketing company that went out of business. It was kind of a startup. The writing was on the wall. It wasn't a shock that it happened. And I kind of found myself in a place where I'm like, well, what am I going to do with the rest of my life? And I was feeling kind of this pull to do something a little bit different. and really serve, not that you can't serve at a really high level inside of a company, but I just kind of felt like maybe I was being redirected to something different for my life, and this whole kind of personal branding thing was kind of tugging on, like knocking on my door, trying to get me to do videos, and I was putting it off, and I thought, well, if I'm ever going to do it, now's the time. And I had no idea what I was doing. I just kind of started doing it. And after about 6 months of doing videos, I started really listening to podcasts, and like, I was obsessed. I mean, I would run and walk and whatever. And I'm like, well, that'd be cool if I had a podcast. I had no idea what I was doing. And so I went to YouTube and I looked up how do you start a podcast, and I found a video, and I spent about 5 days trying to set it up, which was a disaster. But I did it myself, and my first year, I recorded and I edited all my episodes and I uploaded them, and it was kind of like a passion project for me in the beginning. I remember publishing 3 episodes because that's what the YouTube video told me to do 3 episodes at first,
Mhm.
wondering to myself, I don't even know if anybody will ever listen to these, because it wasn't like I had a big business or a brand. I was trying to figure it out, but I felt really connected to the medium voice, and I really I just enjoyed doing it. And so, that was 2016, and it's kind of crazy. We're on, I think we're getting close to 500 episodes, and it's just been it's been awesome to kind of think back. It's funny though, because sometimes, even today, I'll have people that will message me and they'll say, "Oh my God, I just found your podcast. I'm getting ready to listen to episode one."
And
And
now
I
you're
just like,
thinking,
I'm like,
oh God,
no, I'm
no.
like, do
Yeah.
not start with episode one. I
Yes.
was like, first off, I don't even remember what I talked about in episode one. And I can tell
Yeah.
you for sure a lot has changed in terms of our philosophy and what we teach over the last 8 years.
Right.
But kind of a really cool medium to be able to connect with people.
That is so funny. I will tell you though, you're even, I've got your podcast, in my phone, and I will look back, even even your really early ones, you do have some seriously valuable
Yeah.
information. And I know that you probably feel like it's totally cringeworthy, but it all still applies. And you really focus so much on mindset and belief, and we're going to get into that. But before we do, I want to take a little bit of a step back, even before you started the podcast. And how long were you in network marketing or an entrepreneur working for yourself before you launched your brand?
Yeah, so I first got introduced to network marketing fresh out of college. I'll date myself. I'm 50 now, so it was around the year 2000. I was kind of a couple of years out of college, and got introduced to the concept, and I fell in love with it. I was involved for like a short period of time, then I kind of got out of it, got reintroduced to it, and was in a company for about 5 years and had moderate success. I didn't have a ton of success. I wasn't really mature enough or ready, quite frankly. And I wound up actually quitting that company, and I remember saying I'll never do that again. I was one of those people. And
Mhm.
I had always been in corporate sales, and I got into medical sales, and I had a quote unquote good job for a while. And then I just started to just kind of get frustrated with not having all of the potential to earn the kind of money I wanted. And I got back into the industry in 2011 with a startup company. And that was kind of the beginning of the second chapter of my entrepreneurial career, where I actually had success. And that was the company that I was with for about 5 years or so, 4 years, that actually wound up going out of business. But during that time period, I had a lot of success, and I was able to walk away from my full-time career and then make this a career of mine. And then that was kind of the series of events that led me to start doing this.
Yeah. And what do you think? Let's now talk about, okay, so now you're like, all right, I know what it's like to have success with network marketing. This is a real thing. Now I feel a calling to share with the world how people can do this and how it can change their life too. Do you think that this is mostly a mindset thing. Like, do you think that that is one of the things that is holding people back from success in network marketing? I want to know your thoughts because I think right now there's the stigma out there about network marketing, but truly I look at it, Bob, as just it's just another way to make money. And it's just a really creative, awesome way to make money.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about network marketing in general? I mean, and
Yeah, I used to have a different opinion. I used to think it was all mindset, but it's actually not. You can have the best mindset in the world, but if you don't have the skills to be successful in this space, you will not make money. You could make a little bit of money, but you'll never really make big money in this space. And so it's a combination of mindset and skill set. Our business is a very unique one. And although there are some fundamental principles of sales and marketing and leadership that definitely are transferable here, there's a lot of nuances to our business that really are kind of learned traits and skills. You got to have good character and you got to have the right intentions, but you need to develop the skill set. And so I don't know that I've ever given a percentage, but if I had to think, I would probably say it's about 60% mindset, 40% skill set. And
Mhm.
so you have to always be working in those two areas. And quite frankly, um, here's a big challenge I think a lot of people face today is
Okay.
they spend so much time on their mindset. It's like that's like the in vogue thing is manifesting and vision and thought management and belief and all of that stuff, trust me, is important.
Yeah.
But you can't think your way to a successful business. Like
Right.
at some point, you have to recognize that there are actual hard and soft skills in the areas of selling and marketing and leadership and really just building the foundation for a business and
Mhm.
understanding what that looks like. If you're not really intentionally working on developing those skills, you're only going to be able to get so far. So it's a combination of both.
And you have a program that is called Love, Serve, Grow.
Yeah.
What is the concept of that, and how is that applying the mindset and the business skills that people need?
Yeah, I mean, it's a name of a program, but it's something much more. It's more than a program. It is the guiding philosophy of everything we do in our company. It is the mission of the work that we do in our business. I think Love, Serve, Grow is the future of the profession, quite frankly. It is, the way that we explain it is that really it starts with the belief piece, right? What we're talking about. And so we talk a lot about learning how to put love at the center of your business and your life and how that alone is one of the most transformational things you'll do. It's really showing up from a place of self-worth and belief and not always looking to your results for validation of your self-worth, because that's what most of us do today. We're worthy if we have the followers, if we make the money, if we have the team. That's really based in fear. And so we teach people that when you're really truly showing up from a place of love, which really means that you know that you are worthy despite what you may see in front of you in terms of results,
Mhm.
that is the starting point, because the only place you really can serve from is a place of love. You can't serve from fear. You can't serve from lack. You can't fill someone else's cup up if yours is empty. But serving is really the key component here. Is when I look at our profession today, and I look at what's being taught and I look at what's being modeled in terms of what you see on social media, is it's this definition of success that is really just tied to the things that you've achieved and the things that you've done. We
Mhm.
call it a transactional way of thinking about business. And
Right.
so what we teach is what we call a transformational approach to business.
Right.
And so we show people how to truly serve. That's the action component of this, is building a business that's focused on serving other people's needs before your own. It's
Right.
actually the secret to success.
Yeah.
But when we think about serving, we have to learn what that means, how to serve through the content that we create. We have to learn how to serve through the sales conversations that we have in our business. And we have to learn how we serve through the leadership. Those are kind of the three core skill sets: marketing, sales, and leadership. But if we can show up from a place of service, what begins to happen is we help other people and ourselves begin to grow, right? We talk about that. Any business, by the way, could apply to, but entrepreneurship is really a personal transformation program with a compensation plan attached to it.
Right.
And so as you begin to really transform yourself and you're focusing on the needs of others, and not just hitting a rank or making a paycheck. Not that those things aren't important, but it's the recognition that they come as the byproduct of the lives that you change. You
Mhm.
begin to grow. And so it's kind of this beautiful thing. You're showing up from a place of love, you're focusing on serving, you're helping other people, and you're growing. And then what happens is over time, you attract the results to you as a byproduct. The results come as a byproduct of loving and serving and growing every day.
Mhm.
And so if you're not making money in your business, this is the harsh reality of this formula. If you're not making money, then it's nobody's fault but your own.
Yeah.
It means that you have not loved and served and grown enough. And part of growing is really developing the skills that you need to succeed and realizing that success is not an accident. And so we attract people to us, Stacey, that are in business, not that they don't want to make money. I want to make a lot of money,
Mhm.
but they feel called to something more than just making money. They truly feel like that they're here to do something more important. To me,
Yeah.
more important is the lives that we change. To me, more important is the freedom that I have as a husband and a father of two young boys. We just have a different definition of success in our world. And I think this is a conversation that we don't hear enough in our space.
Mhm.
We hear about the influencers and we hear about the top rank and we hear about the money, and that's all you see and that's all you hear. And to me, what this profession is it's something so much more than that. It's so much richer in terms of what it does for people. And so we're just trying to change the narrative around what it actually looks like.
Yeah. So what you're saying is that you can make an income and an impact simultaneously, and it can
Yeah.
be a beautiful thing.
Yeah. And listen, there's a lot of businesses and professions that you can do that. We're not unique in that sense. Here's
Mhm.
where we are unique though. In the leverage that we can give people and the freedom that you can create in a business like this, right?
Mhm.
To be able to create residual income and to be able to have the leverage of having a team of other people that are going out and doing the same thing. That's the thing that makes our model really unique. And
Mhm.
that was the thing that attracted me to it in the very beginning. My values, freedom is one of my highest values. And I used to joke around and say, I am an incredibly motivated, lazy person. Like,
Mhm.
I just want to be able to, and I say that jokingly because I probably work harder today than I ever have before, but I'm doing something that I truly feel purpose. But it's what is possible on the other side is being able to, we view business not as it's a means to an end, right? It's a vehicle for you to be able to design the kind of life that matters to you. And that might be different. Your definition of success might be different than mine. My definition of success is that I wake up every day with my kids and I feed them breakfast and I take them to the bus stop and I'm here during the day to have lunch with my wife and I pick my kids up from school. That's my definition of success. And I work incredibly hard. The time in between there, we have a multiple seven-figure business with 15 employees, and but I am really intentional around the way that I design my life and the things that I do in it. And I think there's not a lot of businesses that can give that to people.
And when you talk about service, can we break this down a little bit?
Yeah.
In terms of like for people who are listening and they're like, well, I have my own business, I want to be able to serve. I know that you have mentioned in the past, and I want to know if this has changed, by the way. Educate, inspire, and entertain. Educate, inspire, and entertain. Are you still focused on those three types of things for people when they're creating content and when they're helping to serve?
Yeah, it's essentially still the same. We just package it in a much more we package it in a different way. It's a much more detail oriented way. It's more of a, educate, entertain, and inspire. That feels very vague to me.
Yeah.
And so I think where social media has changed, be successful today, you have to be super intentional about everything you do. We teach people, if you're in business, your social media is for your business. It's not for your life. Like, if you're gonna be, if you want to use social media as a tool for your business, you no longer just, like we used to teach, well, 3 to 4 posts about your business, and then whatever else there's no more whatever else you want. There
Right.
is no whatever else you want. Every single post fits in a bigger plan that you're executing. Yes, you post about your life. Yes, you share your values, your passions, your beliefs, but that's a piece of a bigger puzzle that we're looking to help someone execute.
Mhm.
But essentially what you're saying, which is really more, I think the biggest shift that we help people make on social media, is the understanding that social media is marketing.
Yep.
And marketing is not designed to sell.
Mhm.
You don't sell in your content. You sell in your conversations.
Mhm.
Marketing's sole purpose is to generate leads for your business. It's actually not even engagement. People think the goal is not engagement, because you could have a reel go viral that means nothing to your business at all. And matter of fact, you talk to almost anybody that's ever had a viral piece of content, it meant nothing to their business.
Right.
So the goal is not to try to push your products and sell your products. The goal is to create content that has actual value, that even if somebody that isn't interested in buying your stuff, they would still say, hey, I'm glad that I watched that video or I connected with that person. But then it's learning how to speak to a specific person in what you do consistently, so you can start attracting the kind of people that you really want to do business with. You generate opportunities to have conversations with them. One of the biggest ways social media has changed is you don't need a big following to be successful anymore. It's no
Right.
longer the big following. You need a hot following. You need quality people who are actual prospects for your business, engaging with your content. And then here's the piece that's missing for almost everybody: you cannot sit and wait around anymore. The
Mhm.
whole attraction marketing thing, people totally manipulated that, and they misunderstood. They thought that they can just create content all day and sit around and wait for people to come to them, and that's how they'll build their business. Now, that did work during COVID, but it
Right.
doesn't work anymore, and it will never work again. So the second piece of it is this: we teach transformational content. And then
Right.
what you need to do is you need to be messaging every single like and comment on every single one of your posts. And you need to have the skill of having sales conversations that connect with people and that help you actually convert sales and recruits into your business. That's the winning formula today. Content and conversations working in together. And that's a big shift for a lot of people in our space.
And how do you coach people to show up from a transformational place versus a transactional place? Like, what do you think is the key to that? Because I see so many people still showing up with just posting pictures of products, and
Yeah.
like that, we know that's not gonna go
Well, you
anywhere.
can talk about you should be talking about your products you sell, by the way, on
Yeah.
social media.
Yeah.
Um, but I think here's the way you think about it. This is a good question. Is you ask yourself this post that you want to make about your stuff. If somebody were to see it that wasn't interested in buying from you, which describes 99% of your audience, they're
Mhm.
not going to be at a place where they are ready to buy from you. And
Right.
so a big miss is you just keep asking people to buy in the content, and all you're doing is triggering the sales resistance of the 99% of the people that are following you, and they're paying less attention to you because they're not getting any actual value from what you're doing. And so
Right.
we ask ourselves, does this post have any value beyond just me trying to push my stuff?
Right.
And so something as simple as that, you could make some small tweaks to what you do. So here are the common things. Stop asking people to buy in the posts all the time.
Mhm.
Invite people to have a conversation with you around the product to see if they're a fit, and you sell in the comments.
Mhm.
And that alone, something like that, would easily 10x the amount of engagement that you get on your posts related to your business. The other thing we talk about is a core foundation of transformational content is its focus on solving problems. And
Mhm.
so here's another shift. I don't care what the features of your product are. Makes no difference to me whatsoever. I want to know the benefits of your products. So you
Right.
sell the benefits of the products, not the features of the products, right? And this is where no one in our space gets this. This is like marketing 101, but we don't know marketing, right? We just see everybody else touting, yeah, but my product's the best because we've got ABC agreement. But my
Right.
product's the best because we're this, this, and this. We're, this certified corporation. We have this study. None of
Right.
that matters to your prospects at this point, by the way, because all they see and hear are hundreds of other people saying the similar things and they just tune it out. And
Right.
so, like, if you sell, let's say, a clean, non-toxic product for whatever, I don't care that it's clean and non-toxic. I
Mhm.
want to know, what does that actually mean to me? How does that benefit me? Right
Right.
now, if you're selling, let's say, an example I just shared the other day. Let's say you're selling clean, non-toxic cleaning products, right? We have a lot of those in our company. When I look at a lot of the people's content, all they do is talk about like the clean, non-toxic part of it. And I say, but okay, who are you selling to?
Right.
Well, I want to sell to busy moms. Okay, perfect. So what is the benefit of a clean, non-toxic floor cleaner to a busy mother? Well, it actually, number one, it provides a safer environment for her family.
Right.
Okay, great. But what does that do for her? Well, it gives her a greater sense of self-worth to
Mhm.
know that she is doing her job as a mother in creating an environment for her kids where she doesn't have to worry. So that's what you sell. Look, we're
Right.
clean, non-toxic, but that doesn't matter. Here's what does matter. As a busy working mom who may not have the time to do all the research to find out all the latest and greatest stuff, or even know which products you need to switch,
Mhm.
here's where you start. And you'll have the peace of mind of knowing that you've done this and this. And by the way, the product performs better. So what that means for you as a busy working mom or a busy stay-at-home mother is it'll cut down your cleaning time in half, because you don't have to clean the floor twice anymore because of the streaks that are on there. And maybe you actually have an extra half an hour in the morning to go take that yoga class or go read that book that you've been looking for. How's that sound?
Mhm. Mhm.
That's how you
Right.
sell on social media today. You
Yeah.
sell the benefits, and you define the benefits by a specific person.
Yeah. And I think that in somebody, I told a teammate that you made a podcast about that. You made a podcast about this, and it clicked with me. Well, at least I think it clicked with me. At least it helped me.
Yeah,
In it helped my business a little bit. Um, and some people would argue that they go hand in hand. The features and the benefits go hand in hand.
they do.
They do, for sure. But like you said, you can highlight the features of a product
But
or
you
a business.
focus on the benefits.
Yeah, or a
You can
business
mention a
opportunity, right?
feature, but define that in terms
Right.
of the benefit for me.
So
That's how
like,
you
yeah.
connect with people.
Yes. And for instance, so if I were to be talking about like a business opportunity, yeah, you get 25% off. Yeah, you get 25 to 35% commission. But how is that going to make somebody feel? Like, how is that in, yeah, how is it going to make somebody feel? What is it
Yeah.
going to do for their life?
Well,
What is that going to
along
give
your
them?
lines, that's not enough value to get somebody to do the business, though. Just a
What?
discount on the products,
Oh,
that's
right,
not
right,
right. So it's like,
right,
here's the question. What's the problem that they have that your business can solve? So
right.
let's take a discount.
We're
If
paid
somebody
problem
tells me
solvers.
they're interested in the business, and we're just playing, I know that you were just using that example,
Yeah,
but this
yeah.
is a good example though. So let's say somebody says, I want to join the business because I'd like to get the product for free, or I'd like to get the discount. Okay, awesome. Here's my question to you. Great, Stacey. Why is that important to you?
Mhm.
We call that the why reframe. Because what I know is that if you want the products for free, there's probably some sort of an underlying challenge around money or finances that's driving that desire. So my job is I need to connect with you around that problem, understand it, find out what it is, and then position the business as a vehicle to helping you transform your life in that area.
Right,
Most people never, they're all surface level with the way that they sponsor and the way they sell. And what
right.
they do is they prescribe solutions to people without ever taking the time to diagnose the problem.
Mhm.
And so we say prescription without diagnosis is malpractice.
Mhm.
You have to understand that everyone's problem is unique. And so you
Right.
spend time knowing the problem, understanding the problem, and that's how you start having more transformational conversations, and you connect with people and you build more trust.
And what do you think about creating? Are you teaching people to create a niche, a specific person that they are, quote, targeting in terms of when they're showing up on social media and creating their content? Do you think that people should start with a specific type of person that they're talking to in order to attract the right
Yeah.
teammates or customers?
Well, you always should have done that, but you didn't really have to do it until today. During COVID, you could have done anything and you'd have been successful. And this
Right.
is, by the way, this is any business. Like
Right.
you didn't need skills and you didn't need to understand marketing. You just needed to go out and talk about your stuff and people were going to buy it. And
Right.
today that does not work anymore. And so here's the distinction you have to understand. You sell to everyone, but you must market to a specific person. That is marketing 101. Who are you marketing to? And if you're not speaking to a specific person in your content is not going to connect in the way that it could. The two most important factors that are important in content today are authenticity and relatability.
Mm-hmm.
You can't relate to someone unless you have that someone in mind. It's a specific thing. Now, here's where we all go wrong, is we overcomplicate this and we look in the wrong place. You know, we've all been through those trainings. What's your niche? Who's your avatar?
Right.
I do not like those terms.
Okay.
Because it actually makes you think that the person is somebody like outside of you, like this imaginary person that we just have to like figure out who they are. Here's
Right.
the easiest way to do it. This is what we teach our clients. You want to know who you should be speaking to in your content? Go to the bathroom and look in the mirror, and there you are.
Yeah.
You are the ideal person for your business.
Mm-hmm.
And so you speak to you. Now, here's the nuance. Not to the version of who you are today.
Mm-hmm.
You speak to the person you were before you started your journey. You speak
Mm-hmm.
to that person's challenges. You speak to that person's problems. And when you're clear that the person that you're talking to, that you are, here's the realization, is that every person that's listening to this today, you have been uniquely qualified and divinely created to help a specific person in your business. And it's you. Every challenge you've been through, every problem you've had, every failure you've dealt with has just prepared you to serve the version of you that you were. And so what comes along with that, the transactional mindset is my business is defined by the products that I sell. The transformational mindset is my business is actually defined by the person that I serve.
Mm-hmm.
And when you shift into that mode, here's what it helps you do. It helps you share more of yourself in your content, which not enough people do. They hide behind their products. They hide behind their compensation plan. They hide behind their business. I don't see them on video. They're not sharing their life. They're not sharing their values. They're not sharing their beliefs. They're only trying to look successful, realizing that that's the least desirable form of content today. They're not sharing the messy middle and the challenges and the problems. And the reason why we don't do that is because we don't understand why we need to do that. But when we know the person we're looking to help, now we get it, because that's the way we connect with them to say, hey, I'm like you. Most people struggle with this because all they see today are 20-something influencers out there pushing products. But what they don't understand is that's not the norm. And that's actually not even what people want anymore. Influencer content is the least desirable form of content today. What people want is content that is real, that is relatable, and that they can connect with. And when you think about that, like one of the number one fitness influencers in the world right now is a 75-year-old woman who started working out 5 years ago and never created content until then. She's one of the number one fitness influencers in the world today because there's not enough people that look and sound like her. And that's the opportunity. If you're not a 20-something influencer, that's your advantage in the marketplace of today. But the problem is you're still operating from an old, flawed plan of creating content that doesn't work anymore in 2024.
Yeah. And speaking of old flawed plans, can you touch on people that are, regardless of if they're in network marketing, but that's really our focus today. I mean, that's what this is about. but whether they're in business or in network marketing in general, and they want to make an impact and they want to make an income, but they have these red light stories, which you've been talking about for years. What advice do you give to your clients about overcoming those red light stories? I mean, people just stay stuck for so long and they're like, oh, network marketing didn't work for me. But I really truly believe it's just because they're stuck behind these red light stories. Like you were saying, people are just hiding behind all of the things.
Well, I think so. I'll talk about it two ways.
Okay.
This is 90% of what we teach and what we focus on today in our free content in our programs is content and conversations.
Yep.
Those are the two most important things in business. If you can improve content and you know how to have better sales conversations, it will solve almost every problem you have, like across the board. But the content piece, it's what we talked about already. It's like, if you're afraid of putting yourself out there with content, it's because you don't know who you're creating the content for. So in that moment when you want to go live, you're thinking about all of your negative family and friends, and you're thinking about all these imaginary people that don't even exist that are going to have an opinion of you, or maybe it actually is somebody that does have an opinion of you, but because you're thinking of them and not the woman or the man that's out there that needs to hear what you have to say, you always struggle with doubt and fear. And so when you clearly know who it is you're looking for, it gives you the courage to be able to show up more. And if you're showing up, so that's where it starts, but then it also starts with the skills. You have to know how to market, right? If you're just showing up, talking about your products and posting before and afters, and here's the deal and here's the product, you're never going to be successful today. I don't care how hard you work. I don't care how many times you post. I don't care how many platforms you're on. You will not be successful. And so you have to focus on adding value through solving problems and connecting with people and sharing your life in an intentional way, right? And not posting the links all the time and trying to do more like it's just it's a skill set combined with a shift in your mindset. Mm-hmm. That's content. The second place is the skill of selling. It is, I'll tell you, one of the biggest negative parts for most people over the last 6 to 7 years. Nobody knows how to sell in this profession anymore. Nobody knows how to actually sell. It drives me crazy. And we're like, but we don't sell. Bull, you sell. Like, keep telling yourself you don't sell. We just share. How's that working out for you, right? You sell a product. Now, the problem is you've only been taught one method or style of selling, which we call transactional sales, which is just focused on pushing product and price on people, which will never feel aligned with somebody that really wants to help someone. And that's a big problem.
Network marketing gets that.
Yeah. It's just like, hey, hey girl, have you ever thought about doing this? Here's the product. You'd be great at this. Those are the worst ways to talk to people. And that's why we have a bad rap. And so we have all these people that are like service minded and have this heart to want to help, but they're being taught these transactional strategies that feel totally misaligned with who they really are and their values. But it's what they think they have to do to be successful because it's what they see other people doing. And then what happens is they turn people off. Your intentions don't matter. What matters is the way that you actually show up in the world. People don't get to know your intentions until you get close to them. And so like you might want to help people, but if you're having these transactional conversations that are turning them off and you're leading with, have you ever thought about joining my business? Or, hey, you should try this product. Here's what it comes across as is you don't care about people. Mm-hmm. And that's a hard thing to hear, but it's true. And so what we teach is we teach transformational selling, which is selling with a servant heart. We teach people that selling in its truest and highest form is helping and it is serving. And so you have to develop the skill of sales. It is the single most important skill. It is the most valuable skill. If you just learn how to sell better, you will transform your business faster than you can imagine. And so what we do is we try to make it simple, because developing the skill of selling takes time. And it takes an unlearning, and it also takes a lot of courage because it means you have to start conversations, which nobody does anymore. But so how we make it easy is we teach a strategy called authentic outreach. And we have actual scripts that we have created. They're slightly customizable based on the person, but they're pretty much a script. Baked into the scripts are transformational questions. So we teach people what it looks like to lead with problem solving instead of just pitching their stuff. And this is actually a newer strategy of ours, Stacey. We really created it at the end of the year last year, but in January we kind of re-released it and revamped it. And I will tell you, in the last 60 days that we're recording this, about 60 days later, we have never had more success stories in the last 2 months than we've had in the last 3 to 4 years. It is
Wow.
insane. And so, but it's getting people to think different about having a conversation. And that's the
Wow.
thing that's missing for a lot of people.
So good. And I want to let the listeners know that even though Bob and I are talking right now about scripts and social media content and online conversations, that his team and Bob show up to help all people that are doing network marketing in different ways, like parties, right? In-person conversations, all of these skills, regardless if you're working your business on social media or not, they all apply. You have to understand how to transform people's life through the conversation that you're having. And I will just tell you, Bob, seriously, so I have applied so many things that you have taught, and it completely changed my business
That's
over the
awesome.
last almost decade that I've been in network marketing. And I definitely have for sure gotten super trigger happy and like really stoked about even the new brand that I'm with, right? Like I messaged some people and I was like, wait, I look back and I'm like, whoa, Stacey,
Yeah.
whoa,
Well,
whoa.
we've
But
all done it, right? I mean,
but yeah,
the
I
only
still
reason
slip through the
why
cracks.
the only reason why I'm so good at teaching it is because I did it forever.
Right,
Oh,
right,
and listen, Stacey, it worked for a while.
right.
This
Yeah,
is not, to me, this is not like it's less a right or wrong conversation,
right.
and it's more like you must adapt and evolve your approach to business and your skill set so that it actually fits what the marketplace is calling for today. See,
Yeah,
you know, the world changed, COVID, the economies, like we are in,
yeah,
and social media is like, we're in an environment today where you actually need to be skilled
yeah.
to be, and I saw somebody post the other day, and this stuff drives me crazy. I saw somebody post the other day that team building is dead.
Mm.
You can't build a team anymore in 2024. It's not about building a team. It's just about being representing a dozen different products, and I'm like,
Well, that's
this
not
is
true.
the exact mindset of why you'll never build a team. Team building
Right,
is dead for most people because you don't know how to sell. You can sell a $10 product, but selling somebody on actually putting in the time and the effort and the energy to be able to build a business in this space is 100 times the sale that you make with your product. And the reason why you can't build a team is because you have no clue how to sell. And that's the reason why, not because you can't build a team. And if you understand opportunity and you recognize that opportunity is a two-sided coin, and what that means is on one side is everything you want, your goals and your dreams and your vision. And on the other side are all of the things that you are not going to want to have to do to get it. If you just look at the coin from the one side and see it's so hard, okay, I'm looking at the coin from the other side. Because I know the second it gets hard, the opportunity just got 10 times bigger,
right,
because most people will not be willing to do what they have to do in order to increase their skill set. And that means there's less competition at the top. And now is the time when you will build the foundation for a legacy business, not in 2020. That wasn't real, it was fake. Today
2020 was
is the
wild.
opportunity. Now is the time. You're going to be able to attract people to your business, a caliber and a level of person that will be open to this business model, like that will join your team, that will serve as the foundation for you building a business for the next 10 years. Not
Yeah,
somebody that's bored because they're sitting at home and they need something to do and they join your team and they share products. And then the second it gets hard, they're like, I'm out of here because I didn't really want to do any work. That's
right.
what we just experienced. What we're going to experience next is going to be something so much bigger and so much better.
Yeah, I will just speak to that for sure. I felt like I was dragging dead weight with my past company, and like it was just it everything has changed. Everything currently in 2024, when we're recording this, like people are coming into the business now ready to go. Like there's just been this whole shift, and it's been really refreshing
Yeah.
to not feel, network marketing is going nowhere. It's been here for so long. And right now is the time to jump in and if you're currently already in network marketing, you've got to listen to Bob, get into his programs, go to his workshops. They're so transformational. Bob, I want to know where we can find you so people can stay in touch and make sure that they get plugged in to all of your wisdom.
Yeah, probably I would say the best place would be the podcast. If you're listening to this, then you obviously listen to podcasts. So the Your Virtual Upline podcast, check us out anywhere you listen to podcasts. And then I would say the other place would be connect with me on Instagram. So of all the social platforms, I'll tend to spend more time on Instagram. I go live a lot, kind of gotten away from it for the last couple of months because I've been really busy creating new training for Love Serve Grow. But I'm going to be getting back to regular lives on Instagram. And so Instagram would be a great place for two-way communication. And then the podcast for sure as a place to really get a sense of what we teach and what we do.
So valuable. Seriously, I think I would be a failure at network marketing if it were not for you. So please, everybody go listen to Bob. Like he knows what he's doing and he can totally change your life. So thank you so much. I appreciate you. And we'll see you soon.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Stacey. This was awesome.